This podcast is a celebration of women who are shaping culture, influencing the world, and boldly stepping into the entertainment industry to create God-honoring content across all media platforms. I'm your host, Shari Rigby. Grab your coffee, settle in, and join me for an inspiring ride.
Welcome, Isabelle. How are you, my friend?
I'm so good. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you with me today.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me. It's a gift anytime I get to talk to you. So I'm very excited.
Well, I feel the same way about you. And, I was thinking about it. I'm sitting in the podcast area where we ended up filming your audition yesterday. And it's so just thinking about all the things as an actress that you have to do. I just want to launch right in because I think so many people don't really catch the grasp of what it is that you have to do day in and day out. And you've done some incredible projects. You have been in LifeMark. You were in Camp Hideout. I know we're going to talk about so many other ones. You were in Bringing Back Christmas, which I loved. But I'm thinking about not only the audition process, but preparing for each and every one of these roles because they were all so different. So take us on a little bit of a journey and what it looks like for you as an actress to prepare for these roles and how each and every one of these that I just kind of mentioned to you really set you in motion to prepare differently.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's a great question. I loved every project that you just mentioned, all the people on it. I just have been fortunate to work with some really wonderful, talented cast members and crew on both sides. And I mean, you're right. Actors work really hard. But everyone in the film industry, I think in general, doesn't get enough credit. The crew on a film set these are some of the hardest working people that I've ever come in contact with. And no one would ever know because you watch this beautiful 2-hour movie and it just flows so seamlessly. And just the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears that went into making something like that is so difficult. So I just want to give credit to them, first off, everyone who's involved with making a project. In regards to acting, there is so much that goes into it, especially when you're preparing for a crazy character like I was in Camp Hideout. Just totally polar opposite of me, but so fun. And I think looking back when I was first considering trying to pursue acting professionally, I would really think about how I didn't want to get pegged as just one type of character. I admired these actresses that could be so diverse and play a character that's like the bubbly cheerleader in Camp Hideout, but then also play Mary, mother of Jesus, in Bringing Back Christmas. And I always found that so fascinating. Like, how do you have so many different emotions in one body that you can portray these different characters so believably? So I really wanted to try and play characters that were very diverse from one another. And the preparation process is a little different. I try to watch characters that I've seen already that are similar to the one that I'm auditioning for, if that makes sense. So for Camp Hideout, she was a very bubbly, over-the-top camp counselor, hyper, scale of 1 to 10. She was like a 15. So I really tried to watch some things that had some very over-the-top characters in them to get some ideas. And same for Bringing Back Christmas. For Mary, I obviously tried to watch movies and shows that portrayed people from that time period. You just kind of have to jump all in. I have to watch others who are greater than me, like yourself, and I pull from them because I'm not good enough to do it on my own. So that's why I love to watch others in other shows and movies to pull inspiration and ideas from when I'm auditioning.
I love that. Well, all three of those characters that I mentioned are very different. And on a scale, I mean, LifeMark for you was very dramatic. It was emotional. You played a little bit more of a heavier character who was going through some life situations. And it was such a beautiful movie. Talk a little bit about your journey because it's really an interesting thing for me. I always kind of chuckle at people who think that, this just happens overnight and it doesn't. And you touched on that a little bit, but talk a little bit about your journey. And, I know so often, are we in a desert or are we kind of in a land of plenty right now? And in the entertainment industry, there's so often it seems like a desert, but talk about your journey, how you've kind of come through the process of growing into the entertainment and media area. And then talk about whether you're in a desert or maybe you're in the land of plenty right now. And what does that look like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love that you brought up Lifemark, just because that is really kind of where it all started. Years before that, Lifemark was my first film that I booked. It was also where we met, which thank God for Lifemark and the Kendrick brothers. Yeah, Lifemark was definitely a moment in my life that I'll never forget. My journey, just kind of going back really quick from the beginning. No one in my family is an actor or in the entertainment industry at all. And when I was 9, my parents really wanted to go see this movie in the movie theater called Facing the Giants. And so they were like, this is a movie. We've seen the trailer. It's about the Lord. It's about sports. We're a big sports family. So they were like, let's go to the movies. And so we went, and I will never forget sitting in that movie theater, watching that movie and watching everyone around me watch this movie that was proclaiming Jesus in a medium that I had never seen before. I'd been to church and heard about the Lord, and obviously with my parents, but I had never been like in a movie theater watching a movie that was amazing and about football, but also so much about a relationship with Jesus. And so from that moment, I mean, it really was like the Lord just plopped this dream into my heart, sitting in that theater chair that said, you know, you could be a part of something like this one day. And I didn't know what that looked like what capacity. I didn't have the dream instantly like, oh, I want to be an actress. I just knew that I wanted to be a part of something like that. It kind of just led into acting, and I started doing church plays, theater, you know, in the community, and kind of caught the acting bug, as they say. And truly, for about 15 years, I prayed to be in a Kendrick Brothers movie, because I just knew that that would be this full circle moment of this is where the dream started. This is now the dream that I would love to achieve. And so when I booked Lifemark, I mean, it just felt like I had this thought, you know, okay, I don't have to act ever again. Like, Lord, you truly answered the one dream I had in this industry, and it came true. And it was such an amazing experience. And I was like, truly, I could just hang it up and go do something else now. Every time I have had that thought since then, which I think was about 4 years ago now, the Lord has shown me like, not yet. I don't think I want you to hang it up just yet. Yeah, it's been a journey and it's been a process, but I'm very grateful for them and that movie and seeing something in me to put me in that movie, because it opened a lot more doors after that.
Absolutely. No, that's such a great, I just love that take. And I feel the same way about them, but I love the part of the answered prayer. We think so often we're praying for the Lord to give us something. And would you say 15 years? Yeah. I mean, it's a long time, right? And so I just want to encourage everybody who's listening right now and watching that that's the way God's timing is so different than our timing. And that story was a specific story for you to tell. And it was being prepared for you to tell. You were chosen in that part, and then you would affect others as it was being shared on a screen and or on a set. And I think that's such an important part of this process that we go through, is that as believers and as talent, we never know what God is going to do with a story. And really, ultimately, if it's his, which we know the Kendrick brothers are very prayerful, they really do honor God in what they do, that God's going to use it differently than any of us anticipate or expect it to be. And I love that. I love that. Talk a little bit about, because you're this generation and you're this world changer. You're doing all these great things in the industry. You're auditioning, you know, like we talked a little bit about. What are you facing right now as a young woman in this industry that you feel like, man, I don't know if I can keep doing this anymore? I mean, is there something that you're facing, and how do you tackle each and every character or each audition that you get? I want to talk a little bit about that, because there's so much darkness in the industry right now. And you and I have both been very blessed to work in the faith and family entertainment space, but we also get auditions for secular stuff that we don't know what it's going to look like at the end of the day, and if we audition for it. So what are some of the things that you're up against as a young woman in this industry, and how would you like to see some of those things change?
I mean, I think you said it perfectly. It's as dark as you can possibly imagine. I mean, I have worked in the faith-based world, but I've also had opportunities to work in the secular world as well. And it's a whole different experience. Obviously, you know, if you're working on a Kendrick Brothers movie or if you're working on anything else, it's very different. Yeah. And there's been auditions that I have had to decline because of content or whatever, you know, that I probably would have been good for my career, so to speak, you know. But at the end of the day, it's just not worth it. And it's one of these things where a couple of years ago, I think I would have said being a Christian in this industry isn't super hard. You just stay true to yourself and you just, you know, decline the ones that you don't want to do. But as I've gotten older and I've gotten more into it and I've gotten more auditions, I guess I should say, now I would say, yes, it actually is very hard to be a Christian in this industry, especially, I mean, for women of any age. But my friends and I who are Christians who are in this industry, I mean, we talk a lot about how it's hard. And you can say you trust the Lord, you trust the Lord, you trust the Lord. But then it's also like I have the questions of, you know, I'm also being tested at times too. When I get this audition, it's a test of, am I going to do it? You know, and then what if I book it? And what if I do this? And what if I do that? You know, and it's easy to just make excuses in your mind and justify sin that doesn't seem so sinful compared to something else. At the end of the day, anything that's not glorifying the Lord is really hurting your testimony. So you can make as many excuses as you want, you know, but you really have to come to terms with, what do I see as a successful life? Doing something that I'm not very proud of, or, you know, saying no to something that I know God will honor and reward down the line. So it's hard. It's a tricky, it's a gray area for me. I mean, I'm not saying at all that I'm an expert on what auditions to do and what not to do and what roles to take and what not to take. I tried to just pray through every audition truly and seek the Lord, and not just ask for things and not just knock on the doors, but really try to seek him in every decision. And some auditions off the bat, I do not feel peace about it. And I'm like, this is immediately declined. Goodbye. And then roles and auditions, I kind of feel more of a yes from the Lord. So obviously don't always go off your feelings, be in the scripture and be seeking the Lord and seeking wise counsel, because your feelings are deceptive. But you know, I definitely try to really, really pray and seek what he wants me to do in this industry and where he wants me to go or not go. So I hope that answered a little bit.
No, that's so good. I mean, I 100% I agree with you. I mean, this industry is really hard. It's really hard, and people don't understand that. You know, they kind of see the glamorous life. They see these big movie stars, or they, you know, and they don't really understand what's behind all of it. And especially as believers, we tackle so many different things that we have to walk through. And I think about people all the time that ask me, you know, questions about what am I auditioning for? And then, you know, and I have to think through that as well, especially also as a married woman, what am I auditioning for? And so, you know, my take on it has always been, I'm a Christian first. I know a lot of people don't look at it that way. They think that whatever their career is or whatever their kind of idea of life looks like for them. And a lot of believers this way too, is they say, oh, I'm an actor first, or God's put me here, so I'm going to, you know, no. Specifically, biblically, as we give our lives to Christ, we have to die to ourselves, right? So I have to be a Christ follower first. So everything that I do has to go through that lens of what it is that I'm doing and what I'm choosing to do because of his name's sake, right? Because that's ultimately what it comes down to. And I mean, I've had to do that as well. Multiple projects that I've come across that, you know, that I just don't feel comfortable with, or I don't know where the character is going. How will this character be portrayed down the line? And that's a big deal in this day and age. People don't realize when you get a movie script, it's one thing because you kind of get to see like, oh, this is probably what's on the page for 100 pages, and this is what I'm working with. But when you get a television show that you're auditioning for, you're getting a character breakdown and you're getting an audition piece. You really don't know where that character's storyline is going to go.
You're right. And I just think the putting in the work aspect of it too is so disheartening when you have to decline, because I mean, I don't want to say like, oh, our lives are so hard, but just I think you're right. People see the glamorous side of acting or this industry, and they don't see how the process to get there, you know? And it's funny, I was talking to my small group just about the whole process the other day because none of them are in the industry, and they just, they just find it so fascinating. And they're like, what in the world is your life? And I mean, I was trying to explain to them, you have to set up your lights. You have to set up your tripod. You have to memorize. You have to edit it and upload it and figure out the little nitpicky things that the casting director wants in the submission and do this. And it's all due in 72 hours. And you have to like make the time to do it. And then you have to break it all down. And I mean, it's disheartening to do all that and audition and not get the role. But I just feel like it's even more disheartening to have to decline an audition and not even have the opportunity to go through the process. Yeah. It's just discouraging in a whole different way than not even booking it at all, when you can't even audition for it. At the end of the day, it's like I said, it's not worth losing your soul over,
No, it's such a good point. And it's funny because just even thinking through the audition process and what you were saying, it is a lot of work and it's a lot of preparation. A lot of folks don't realize how many people are auditioning for one character. When we were doing Divine Influencer, I think I could be off on the numbers here a little bit, and I'm going to actually probably skew lower than what I remember. But Bev Holloway told us at one point that she had like over 3,000 submissions for the lead character. And that climbed every day, people self-submitting. And so that's really what you're up against, so that you have to understand the process of what you're doing and the preparation and the work and the tools that you are utilizing so that you have the best audition and that your best foot forward is kind of out there and going. Talk a little bit about in that process, what is it that you as an actress, your toolkit? I mean, I talk about this all the time. I teach on it at Christian Worldview. I try to really set talent up for success in the way that there's so many pieces that you need to know. So an actor's toolkit, it's everything from what you take to set with you, how you prepare a script. But what are some of the things in your actor's toolkit that you can't live without when you get to set?
When I get to set, okay, well, the first thing, absolutely, without a doubt, I mean, I have to have my script printed in a binder, and I'm flipping. I can't have it in a notebook. I can't have it on my phone. I don't just want the sides that they give you on the day that are like this big. I want my full script in a binder, highlighted where I've made notes about particular lines or moments and beats and stuff. And so I always go to set over prepared clothing wise, that even if I'm not required to provide any of my clothing, I will end up taking my biggest suitcase full of just clothes, because you never know, when you're there trying on clothes, if none of them work, you never know. So I always take jeans. I always take shoes that I think my character would wear if they don't have, shoes my size, or if they're comfortable and I'm supposed to be in them for 12 hours, so I always take necessities like that. Obviously, toothbrush, toothpaste, hairbrush, makeup. I always do take a makeup bag, even if they have hair and makeup, which they usually do. These are things that you just never know. I think I've just been on enough sets, as you have too, where you just really never know what's going to happen. And so you just kind of have to be over prepared. Headphones too, if I need to listen to something, a sermon or a prayer or worship music or something before a heavy scene. It kind of sets the tone for me. Obviously I take my Bible, which I will say that is a new thing. I never used to take my physical Bible to set. And now I do, because I think the Lord has just grown me spiritually in the last couple of years as I've gotten older, particularly in the last just year, where it's kind of it's so life-giving. And I don't think I used to see it that way as much when I was a little younger. And now it's almost like I cannot live without this, which I've known that, but now I know it. And so it's I want it to be touching me at all times. I want it to be with me all the time. And so for Christians, I mean, I definitely would encourage people to take your physical Bible to set. And also you never know when you're just going to need to whip it out and read to someone who's not a Christian. I was on a set a few months ago, and I actually didn't have this. I felt that I didn't have it. And one of my co-stars really, she asked for prayer, but it was in such a flippant way. She thought she was just joking and no one was going to take it seriously. And I ended up taking it seriously and being like, I'm going to pray for you right now. Like, we're going to go off to the corner and we're going to pray.
Yeah.
And she was so caught off guard. I probably freaked her out so much.
Yeah, that's so great.
Just, oh my gosh. And so we like went off outside by the pool of this house and we prayed. And I wish that I had just been like, you know what? Like, let's just sit down right here by the pool and like, let me read Luke to you really quick, you know? And I didn't have it. I mean, I had it on my phone, obviously, but there's just something different about having your physical Bible where they can see that this is something that is important to you and you put your life into this because it is your life. Yeah, there's just something different about it. I wish I had had it that day. And from that day on, I mean, I told myself I'll never go to a set without taking this. I should have led with that. That's the number one thing in my toolkit right now. But
no, that's so good though, because I think, you know, isn't it true as believers, we forget so often that it's living and breathing. It's a two-edged sword. Like it is active, right? So each and every day that we get up and we open up the word, or whether the word is just open and it's sitting there. I mean, if we truly believe it's active, it's doing something even when it's there, it's breathing, it's living, like it's doing something. It's the supernatural. It's the Holy Spirit.
Hey friends, if you're enjoying today's episode, we'd love your support. Hit like, subscribe, comment, and share this video, which helps us grow the channel that directly supports the women in my world and our mission to develop, educate, and launch Christian women in the entertainment and media industry. Every action you take truly makes a difference in our ministry. And now we'd like to share a brief video about the heart and mission behind the women in my world. Thank you for being a part of this incredible journey with us. Hi, I'm Shari Rigby, the founder of the Women in My World. Our goal is simple but powerful. We focus on developing, educating, and launching Christian women in entertainment and media. Our aim is to train up emerging talent, empower them to craft impactful, God-honoring content across various platforms, and contribute to positive global change through leadership roles. We invest in women by providing opportunities to learn essential skills in their desired field. Through hands-on education and on-the-job training, we build a community of like-minded women who shepherd others to grow and flourish in their careers. The Women in My World has helped support and launch women into key positions, such as producers, script supervisors, production and costume designers, directors, makeup and hair artists, and so many more. These women have gone on to expand their resumes and their relationships, which have provided opportunities to work on major network television shows and feature films. Due to the small percentage of Christian women in decision-making roles in entertainment, believers must invest in their training, mentoring, and discipleship. These women can then become a voice to change in the negative narratives influencing our culture and shed light on topics we desperately need to tackle from a biblical worldview. The Women in My World is honored to help support women and their careers in entertainment and media as they bring redemptive stories to life and uplift, encourage, and influence the world for Christ.
I think that's such a great reminder for all of us. And there's so often, like you said, our industry is so self-focused. And even when we get it onto set, it's so self-focused. We're memorizing lines. We're making sure we look right. We're making sure that everything is a go. There's so many emotions that are happening. And a lot of times we are disengaged with other people who are on set. And as a believer, first and foremost, we are there to share the gospel. Now, you don't have to walk around beating people over the head with it.
right.
But
Yes.
when you get an opportunity, if you are truly dying to yourself and you truly have the word with you and open, you do have an opportunity to be aware of what the Holy Spirit wants you to do. You have no idea how that moment may have changed that woman's life.
Yeah, you're right. She started crying afterwards, actually. And I mean, I just, it was truly, it felt like a moment where she's never been like prayed for out loud before. And she was so caught off guard. But you're right. I mean, it's like, and you've taught me this from the moment I met you, like we are not on set for ourselves. We're on set, obviously for the Lord, but we're on set for those other people that he put in our paths that we never in a million years would have met otherwise if we did not book this same project. And it just reminds me of this verse. I just read it for the first time the other day, and it's in Proverbs, and it says, "It's not good to eat much honey, so to seek one's own glory is not glory." And so obviously we know that if we're seeking our own glory, we're not bringing glory to the Lord. But I mean, it's not glory at all if we're in this career just for ourselves. It's
so good.
There's no glory even at all, you know, and it'll actually probably make you feel bad. Just like if you eat too much honey, you'll probably feel sick and you'll be, you know, in pain a little bit and suffering. Just so if we're only in this to seek our own glory and not the Lord's, and not be used for his glory with these other people on set, then I don't know why you would be in this industry as a Christian, because that's the main goal.
That is so good. And it's such a reminder for us to think about that. I mean, it says even throughout scripture, it's like, don't look for man's praise, right? Don't do things that are technically for men, do it for God. You know, it's interesting because we're talking about you being in the industry. You've been probably primarily in faith and family. I know you've done some other things outside of that arena as well. What are your hopes, or what do you watch? Like, what are you hoping that, well, number one, what are you watching that's really inspiring you? And number two, what would you like to see more of that is not getting made, but you really need, like, you know, for your age, your generation, what is it that needs to be made?
That's a great question. I think personally, I tend to watch more movies than television. I just find that it's easier to watch a movie that is inspiring than maybe a show for some reason. From what I've found, I'll start a show and then I'll turn it off a couple episodes in because it's just not what I should be watching, which is hard because, again, we come back to actors. I mean, these are the shows that I'm auditioning for or getting auditions for, you know, and it's like, I can't watch this. So why would I audition for it? So that's just a little side thing. But so I definitely find myself watching more film than TV. And I find that I'm drawn to more true stories of people in the past. I mean, I recently watched The Boys in the Boat, which isn't a strictly Christian movie, but it's very inspirational, and it was clean, and it was entertaining, and it was funny, and it was just all these things. And I was like, this is a movie that people universally loved, Christian or non-Christian, and it was amazing. And so I was like, these kinds of movies, I don't know if that means every movie has to be a Christian movie. I don't think that's what I'm saying. It just, I think it's easier to make a movie when you're going off of someone's life and you have the facts and you have, you know, what happened to them. So I like those types of movies. I would love to see more of those. I would love to see more television that's entertaining and engaging for my age group that isn't gross, for lack of a better word. You know, I mean, it's hard to be a Christian watching television. And I think if you're a Christian my age watching these shows, I think that we're convicted about it, but you fall into, this is what everybody's watching and everyone's asking you, have you seen this? Have you seen that? Have you seen this? And you want to watch it, but it's like, again, I get so like, if it's not glorifying the Lord, like, I just don't want it. I want to have his eyes. And there's so many other more useful things that we as Christians could be doing with our time than watching something that is deliberately disobeying him. I don't know if that answered your question, but
I think it does. I think it does. I mean, well, and the other thing that I heard today, and I've heard this off and on now for the last year, but it resonated with me again today, was that there was some statistics that came up on how the generation now is consuming news and content. And it said 70%, that's a huge number, 70% of your age group consumes their content, including news, on Instagram and TikTok, we know the sides of both of those that can be very detrimental. And then we know the sides that could be positive or are positive for a generation. And so I think that as believers, it's just trying to identify and making content that's better, that really can show, like you said, it doesn't have to be coined as a Christian movie or television show, but it has redemption in it, and it has restoration, and it has this idea of a character overcoming life's obstacles, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's why we all love a good true story, right? Or a story of overcoming. So I love that. And I know that, I know your generation more than anything is up against these, it's social media, it's the, filter lifestyle that we so see. It's tough to be in that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's one thing. Like, how do you feel like social media right now in your age group is actually affecting media in general and entertainment for the good and like a positive and a negative?
Yeah. Social media, like you said, it's a love-hate relationship that I have with it. It can be such a good thing, such an encouraging thing, and it can also be such a detrimental thing to your mental health, how you live your life, the things that you find value in or important. It definitely the scale can go either way. I don't really feel like there's a good middle ground. I feel like you either have a healthy relationship with social media or you have an unhealthy relationship with social media, and I have obviously been in both places. But social media, I think, for me, the way I've been able to kind of not get so wrapped up in it where it's consumed me in a bad way is, one, who I'm surrounding myself with. And if they're not doing that, then I kind of see myself not doing that either. And if they're speaking life into me, in that area, then I find myself kind of not falling into the traps that social media can like bring you into because of my accountability with my friends. And also I think social media is a lot about who you follow. I mean, I would encourage everyone to probably look at who they follow, whether you're a guy or a girl, and see, is this influencer or celebrity, making me, feel bad about myself or, make me want a different life or make me want to change things about myself. I mean, I just think who you follow can either be encouraging or discouraging to you, depending on who they are. So I try to follow a lot of women who, are inspiring and follow the Lord. And I try to follow a lot of Christian accounts that, I mean, if I pull up my phone, I mean, it could just be like a Bible verse after Bible verse after Bible verse, depending on the accounts that I'm following and when they've posted, which in that sense, I think, thank you, social media. Like, this is amazing, but I think it's influencing television, film, and TV because this is the majority of the content on social media is sinful. Obviously, that's what the majority of people are consuming. And so they're just pulling from there and they're putting it in their TV shows and they're putting it in their movies. And so they're like, if they're going to consume it on TikTok, then they're going to consume it in the movie theater and they're going to consume it on Netflix as well. So I just think it's just this cycle that Christians, we have to just kind of come in and break with good projects.
Well, and now as I'm kind of looking at some of the things that I wanted to talk to you about in the topics, so it's, it's such an important thing with the social media and how it is affecting us as a culture and what we do day in and day out as entertainers. I think that leads me, I've got a couple questions left for you. And I was trying to think through, like, your generation is facing so many things and you're influenced day in and day out by what the media puts out there, whether it's political or whether it's faith or whatever that might look like. And you really do have to set yourself up for success. And I love that you talk about the people that you're putting yourself around, the people who are really influencing your life and doing it for today and not putting you in this place where you have to look and feel like you're pressured to be something that you're not. When you think about everything that you're doing today, and I know this question kind of changes all the time because as we go through life, it's going to shift, right? But how would you define success?
How would I define success? It's funny when you ask that. I mean, immediately what popped into my head is my mom because She is just the best person in the whole world. She has kind of always instilled, I mean, my dad as well has instilled this, but with her, she says this to us a lot, my brother and I growing up, and still to this day, she's always kind of said, it's really not about what you do with your life. It's about who you are. And so to me, success, I mean, I don't think it would be very successful if I, had this amazing career and achieved all my dreams came true in this industry. But, I was someone that no one wanted to be around or no one respected. I wouldn't really see that as success. So I would see it as success even if my dreams don't come true in this industry, but I have good relationships and I feel like I'm a kind person and servant hearted, I would see that as success. So yeah, I and obviously in this industry, it's that's easier said than done because success is so just like down our throats all the time. If you book this or you book that or you do this or you do that, you're so successful. And you can kind of lose yourself a little bit, I've found. And so I try to just remind myself, it's really at the end of the day, I'm not taking my career with me.
That's right.
It's not coming with me. And so I say it doesn't matter because it does matter. And the Lord cares about what we care about here on earth. But at the end of the day, it's about the kind of person that I am and others see me as and how I make them feel. And so, yeah, that's how I would define success.
That's really good. There are a lot of women who are listening right now and watching, and they have still a dream and a passion to pursue an acting career. There's a lot of young women who are looking to get into the industry. What is something that you would say to them and encourage them, or maybe even give them a couple tips on how to take those steps? What would you say to them?
First, I would say I was you as a little girl. That was me having this crazy dream of wanting to be an actor and not knowing what to do, where to go, who to talk to. Literally had all the questions. First and foremost, before doing anything resourceful or practical, I mean, there's a verse in Psalms 109, David literally just says so simply, but I give myself to prayer. So before you even start wondering and your mind starts spinning, like,
good.
Where do I get an acting class? Where do I get a headshot? What is a headshot? What's a reel? I can't edit anything. Like, how, you know what I mean? I have no content to edit. Like, before you go anywhere or do anything, just give it to prayer. Give yourself to praying over it because the Lord will speak to you in this dream. He's given you this dream for a reason. Just like he's given someone else their dream for a reason, this one has been given specifically to you for a reason. And he wants you to pray about it and talk to him about it because he gave it to you. So first off, pray. Second or third, fourth, fifth, I don't know. Basically just try to Google or, search in your area things practically that you can start doing. If you're in high school, maybe get involved in theater at your school, the drama club, or your community theater. If you're in college, maybe see if there's like an acting studio in your town that you can go take acting classes, take them online. I've done some workshops online. If you don't have one near you, a studio, or you want to drive, you can do things online. You can get on Facebook groups that are film people who are always looking for, hey, we need an actor to come be in our short film and we're not going to pay you, but you'll get some great experience on set. And just getting on set is the best. It's the best coaching. It's the best learning tool because you learn the lingo. You learn what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. You can get on set. Obviously, that would be amazing. But if you don't have that opportunity at the moment, try to just start working on your craft and getting some content and getting more confident in your skin. Because I know, at least for me, I mean, I wasn't confident in acting just like the day I started doing it. Like, I had to work up to like, okay, like, I think that the more you do it, I mean, practice makes perfect, the more you do it, the more confident you're going to feel in it. So try to do that. I mean, if you don't want to go take professional headshots, our phone cameras are really awesome.
They are.
They're great, and so you could just get a really good light, go out natural light, have someone take a headshot, and just start there. I haven't heard of anyone kind of just jumping into this industry and immediately having like amazing tools and like amazing this and amazing that. Everybody kind of starts out figuring it out together.
Yeah.
So don't be intimidated by an actor that you see who has the professional headshots and has the amazing reel and the long resume. Like that took a lot of years to get to that place. And we all didn't have that like right off the bat when we're getting into it. So, just pray and just take it one day at a time. It can be very overwhelming because there's so many like, do this, do that, do this, do that. And then you'll be successful. But really, I mean, the Lord will carry you through it all. And it's not something to get anxious about.
That's good. That's good. Well, and I love that. I love that you gave so many practical things. And I think one thing that hits me in it is it's just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Start looking it up, start digging in, start trying to figure out what you can do to grow yourself and, as an actress or an actor and really just do it and start to understand what are the pieces and the tools that you need to have. But it's so funny because when you said that, I know that there's so many people out there that just kind of sit there and they're like, oh my gosh, there's just so many things that I have to have and I have to do, but I don't know how to do any of that. And it's like, well, there's a lot of things you haven't been able to do or thought that you could do in your lifetime, but you just have to do it.
Yeah.
And you will grow in it. So great advice. Tell everyone where they can find you, follow you on this journey that you're on, because you have so many incredible things coming your way day in and day out. So tell everybody where they can follow you.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you for saying that. I am on Instagram. That's kind of my main form of social media, I guess. It's just my name, Isabelle.Almoyan. I'm on Facebook as well, which is just my name, but Instagram is kind of my main form of communication and posting for, projects or anything like that. So yeah, Instagram pretty much.
Awesome. Well, it was an incredible conversation to have with you. You have so much wisdom and grace and just discernment in the way that you walk and the way that you do things. And I know that the Lord has a lot ahead of you. And so I'm excited to keep watching this journey that you're on. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Shari, for your words and your encouragement over the years. It's truly such a blessing to know you. It really is. So,
well, thank you. I feel the same way about you. So love you, sweet friend. I'll talk to you soon.
I love you. Talk soon.
We hope today's episode inspired you. If it did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with somebody in your world so we can reach more and more amazing women in entertainment and media. We'd love to hear from you. So drop us a comment below. Your support truly means the world to us, and it helps us keep doing this important work. Also, don't miss out on signing up for our newsletter, and you get our acting prep guide for free. It's packed with tips to help you step into your purpose. If you feel led, also please consider donating to support our ministry. All the links are in the show notes below. We can't wait to hear from you to join us next time.
Blessing in disguise.